try this one more time. And I'm not going to repeat myself from the previous streams.
It's John. I host a podcast called Radical Empathy. I also directed the Flat Earthers episode of Middle Ground. And as punishment, I've been asked by Ragini to moderate today's episode between pro-Trump Republicans and anti-Trump Republicans. The first prompt is, Trump is an honest man. Will the agreeers please step forward?
Fact-checking in this episode was powered by Ground News, a platform that helps you compare coverage across the political spectrum.
Lady Maga, why don't you start off?
Trump is an honest man because he has stood up for the truth in this country and paid the price for it. He has been persecuted more than any other political figure in modern times. And if he wasn't telling the truth, I don't think he would stick by it. And also, all of the witch hunts haven't really found him caught as a liar, so to speak, yet. So I believe he's an honest man. And I mostly believe he honestly loves this country. That's the most important.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think by virtue of how honest he is with his remarks and how off the cuff he is proof of how honest he really is. If perhaps he was more like Obama, someone willing to lie simply to get votes, to kind of hide his perspectives, he might be a little more popular by some of the other folks here today. But because he's very honest, he says things like shithole country, you know, he's impugned sometimes for that off-the-cuff honesty that I really respect, considering that we don't have a lot of honest politicians.
And we can't forget about creative editing in today's society.
Okay,
Trump is a transactional man.
She's going to turn out to be the batshit crazy person with the 12 IQ.
He's from Queens. And if anybody knows people from Queens like to exaggerate.
There you go.
Because they were always against the Bronx.
There you go.
Or Brooklyn.
There you
or
go.
Manhattan.
There you go.
So it's part of his personality. But what I really...
This doesn't make any sense. What she said didn't even make any sense. What is it supposed... Those are just words. What is that even supposed to be? What are these people saying? Did you drug check them before they came in? Oh, God.
What I like about him is not only, you know, has he been wrong about certain things? Who isn't? Is he a perfect human being? Who is? But do I think he's out there intentionally lying to the American people? No, I do not.
And I think Trump, if he were a liar, his life would actually be a lot easier because the press has come after him.
If the man just got convicted, essentially for 34 lies. Not to mention this lady here just said, he likes to exaggerate. Yeah. Like when he confuses 100 with 1,000, just exaggerating. But the whole reason he's going through the trouble he's going through is his lies. I mean, his lies is what has got him in trouble. And the thing is he was known as a liar before this. Before he ran for president, he was known as a liar. Go back, check go check the tapes. All this stuff that people say, well, everybody loved Trump before he ran for president. Everybody made fun of Trump before he ran for president. Go check, go look, go get on YouTube and type in any year, the word Trump, and any year before he ran for president. The scandal about him saying the N-word on The Apprentice, like, that was first mentioned. Like, him saying things he shouldn't when the camera wasn't rolling. That was first mentioned before he ran. You know? And Penn Jillette verified that. Penn Jillette has never been known to be a liar. If anything, Penn Jillette has gotten in trouble for being too, like, his devotion to full candor has angered a lot of people. And just like everyone else on the left, I'm not saying believe me. I'm saying go look it up and believe your own eyes.
For him for things like using tax loopholes, and he'll come out and say, yeah, I use them, all rich people use
Honest
and
by
I
using
think
them.
he's so unfiltered that he almost wouldn't have the ability to lie. That's just not his personality, and he actually gets attacked for being too honest and too glib, like you were saying.
All right, let's bring in our disagreeers.
No. He gets in trouble for being too brash.
I just can't
Brash.
agree. I mean, I think if
Brash.
Trump was an honest man, then he wouldn't be on trial right now for lying about having sex with a porn star and using his business records to cover it up so that his campaign supporters wouldn't find out. I think
Okay, so
Both barrels with a 12 gauge. And her brain can't handle it. That little BB. Look, she's trying to make herself look like Marjorie Taylor Greene is what's happening. Look at her. So you've got this one guy over here. He's cosplay Donald Trump. He's in Trump drag. She's in her MTG cosplay. And the reason I'm saying that dude over here is like, because he's like devoted to this character and this persona that this suit is built around. It's different from her cosplay. See, she's being herself, just wearing a costume to look like Marjorie Taylor Greene. Don't you hate it when you try to put eye drops in your eyes and you're like, wait a minute, did I hit? Did I hit? Did I hit? There we go. Oh. It's the squeeze. It's not the love. Trying to distract myself from the burn. Okay.
anytime that MAGA places
like,
Trump up with Jesus, I mean, this happens all the
that
time.
doesn't happen. That's a
It
lie.
absolutely
That's a
does.
lie.
There was a segment in
receipts
the Daily
are there.
Show with I'm forgetting his name, Jordan Klepper. There was a segment in the Daily Show
who's
with Jordan
Jordan
Klepper
Klepper? Who
where they
cares
went
what
to a
Jordan
Trump rally.
Klepper
Let's let him
Where they
talk
went to a
about
Trump
that.
rally.
Yeah. Went to a Trump rally and talked to the people
Our
there, and
story
the people compared him to
begins
Jesus.
on a rainy
And then
night.
she's going to say, oh, that's just an extremist view. But it's like, no, it's
In
the
the soft glow
whole,
of-
it's not an extremist view. It's the entire Trump rally, which is why, that's the thing. There is a reason conservative
There's a segment where they went to a
media-
Trump rally and they asked
I'm sorry, I'm going to cut you off, sir. I will let you continue. I'm going to let you finish, but hold on. The whole reason conservative media won't go to the Trump rallies anymore, it's like the same reason that Fox doesn't like doing their man on the street segments anymore, unless it's heavily screened and edited. They won't do it live anymore because the responses that they get from everyone they talk to ends up being one of these, oh, that's just they they just go and highlight a few fringe extremists to make fun of the rest of us. And they say we all act like that. But no, that's the whole reason conservative media won't go to these events anymore. Unless they just roll a hard camera from the back. They're not going out and talking to anyone. They're just running the hard camera from the back. And what's funny is Trump had to be reminded a million times to stop attacking the area with the reporters, because it's really just conservative cameras anymore. Left-wing media doesn't really go to these events much, go inside. I mean, they can't get inside, for one, because Trump has cancel culture at all the doors that won't let anyone who isn't loyal to Trump in. So it's like, yeah, he kept insulting, oh, look at that news media out there, and then he had to be told a million times, the only media that's out there anymore is just right-wing media that supports you. So you're making everybody attack them. But no, they won't walk around with a microphone, though, like Jordan Klepper does, but he has to stay outside. But they won't walk around with a microphone because every single person they run into is going to be like what he is about to describe. And then the other thing I need you to know is he is about to describe the lady to his right. And he is also going to describe, what's her name, Lori? And Lauren and JC. He's going to describe all of them. Those are the people. And you're going to see that he's just describing those people. And these people don't realize, they're going to be like, oh, but it's just the extremists. And they don't realize, no, it's you guys. I mean, look at Lady MAGA. Come on. You are one of the people that Jordan goes to talk to. And Lori, you are one of the people Jordan looks for. And JC, if Jordan Klepper saw you on your way into a MAGA rally, he would move heaven and earth to speak to you and get you on camera for a minute or two. So y'all choose your words lightly. Lightly, wisely, tread lightly, choose wisely.
Supporters at the Trump rally, hey, does Trump remind you of Jesus? And they're like, yeah, he's been so persecuted.
Right, but what does that have to do with his honesty?
Here's the thing. A local journalist here in my town, very highly respected, Keith Lawrence, so highly respected, he tried to retire and they wouldn't let him. He does op-eds. But he's also very active on social media, and he told everybody, hey, you know, y'all have your opinions, what have you, but y'all stop comparing Trump to Jesus. That's just wrong. And he got attacked by Trump supporters for it. And what was funny is some of them were saying, we don't do that. But it's like, if you'll just scroll down an inch or two, here's a Trump supporter going, all I'm saying is Jesus was a felon and Trump is a felon. So there you go. I support them both. And it's like, okay, first off, Jesus wasn't a felon. They didn't have felony charges back then. That's like a more modern construct. I mean, you didn't get charged with like misdemeanors. Oh, class A misdemeanor. Oh, class B felony. So to call him a felon is incorrect. God, what was he actually convicted of? I know they wanted, one of the accusations was heresy and blasphemy. Like, even the synagogues were accusing him of blasphemy for calling himself the Son of God. saying he was a rabble rouser. And no, you couldn't say there was Christians back then because he was Christ. So the closest thing to a Christian back then would have been his apostles and the people who were believing in them. So yeah, it was like the synagogues were calling him a blasphemer, accusing him of like heresy. The government was essentially accusing him of like crimes against the state. Okay, what was Jesus? Close enough. He was accused of blasphemy. See? I know more about your Bibles than you do. I know more about your Bibles than you do. Yeah. Jesus was accused of blasphemy by the Jewish leaders. Blasphemy is a religious offense when a person says or does something regarded as being disrespectful to God in the eyes of the Jewish leaders. When Jesus claimed to be God's son, he was insulting God. Yeah. And that's the thing. Blasphemy. That's let's see. Doesn't a real response to the accusations and is found guilty of. Here we go. Violating the Sabbath law by healing on the Sabbath. Oh yeah, isn't that funny? You're not the Son of God, but yet you were like doing actual fucking magic. Healing lepers and stuff. It's like actual magic. Walking on water. Yeah. Threatening to destroy the Jewish temple. Practicing sorcery, exorcising people by the power of demons. Oh yeah, because he healed the madman, cast the demons out of him, and he was quieted, and the demons went into the pigs, and the pigs ran off the cliff. And claiming to be the Messiah. But I mean, no felony. He's then taken to Pontius Pilate, the governor of Roman Judea, to be tried for claiming to be the king of the Jews, which is why the INRI, I-N-R-I, is above his head. I used to have an old profile on Twitter that got banned. I can't use it anymore. I got a new one, but the old one I can't use it anymore. But on that old one, Ben Shapiro blocked me because I tweeted at him that he should put, like, in his Daily Wire podcast that he does. I was like, dude, like, to make what I said word for word was, if you want to make your streams more immersive, you should put a plaque above your head with capital INRI, which that INRI, Latin, blah, 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 King of the Jews is what it says, King of the Jews. But I forget what the Latin words are, but it's King of the Jews. He got very mad at that. But it's because he proclaims himself to be the King of the Jews. Sent, okay. Stay, art thou the Son of the Blessed, who's the counsel, morning raiment trial. Okay, the years as to judge and condemn Jesus, accusing him. Okay, here we go. Jesus says, if thou art Christ, tell us. But he said unto them, if I tell you, you will not believe. Are you then the Son of God? You say that I am. At that point, the priests say, what further need have we of witness? For we ourselves have heard from his own mouth, and they decided to condemn him. Because he called himself Son of God. But the thing is, though, is he also said a whole bunch of times, we're all the children of God. Thereafter, in Pilate's court, the Jewish elders asked Pontius Pilate to judge and condemn Jesus, accusing him of claiming to be king of the Jews. Such claim would be considered treasonous for being a direct challenge to the Roman authorities. So, on the church level, tried and convicted of blasphemy religiously by the church within church law. Tried and convicted of blasphemy, so they say they go to the local governor and see, and this is the thing, this is why the Republicans want to meld church and state together. This is why it's so important to them, because they want to be able to do what happened here. So the church condemned somebody of something and then went to the local governor or leader, king, what have you, who happened to be Pontius Pilate, local governor, and said, hey, we just tried and convicted him of this. Now we want you to do something legally to really make it stick, because we can't harm him, because if we harm him, that would be against state law. So then Pontius Pilate goes, oh, well, you proved that he was being blasphemous by calling himself the Son of God. Well, by calling himself the Son of God, he's saying he's greater than the local authority. He's putting himself above state authority, which we're going to call that treason. And our proof of treason is that you say he's got these apostles who follow him. So there, he's trying to get people to rise up against government authority, and you have proven it already. So it's a simple matter for us. And so, boom, now treason. And that, because Pontius Pilate said, well, we're just going to write it down as, because see, here we go. Pilate's effective, the historicity of the gospel narratives has been questioned by scholars who suggest that the evangelist accounts reflect the later antagonism that arose between the church and the synagogue. They show a tendency to minimize the actions of Pilate and emphasize the responsibilities of the Jews. Oh yeah, that's the whole blaming it on the Jews. Pilate's effectiveness as governor depended on cooperation with the aristocratic Jewish leadership. Provincial governors had full jurisdiction over capital cases, even when they worked in conjunction with local courts. And that's why it was important for them to convict him of blasphemy first. Because then, once they had proven the blasphemy, they could go, here's the proof. And then, see, this right here. Because he called himself a king.
You just brought up the
Yeah.
if I can finish, you brought up the Stormy Daniels incident, which he's.
But that was not. I mean, it's like, well, that's a felony, right? No. I mean, you had petty crimes, and then you had high treason back then. I mean, they didn't have misdemeanor, felony. That's hearsay. Yeah. They're trying to elevate him by using our modern judicial system, and that's dumb.
He's literally being sued for saying, I didn't rape her.
Right.
He's being sued.
No. Stormy Daniels is saying that he had sex with
Eugene
a porn
Carroll.
star.
See, you see what he's doing? You see what he's doing? He just jumped from, he just leaped. He just went from, we were talking about Stormy Daniels. And then just all of a sudden, oh, no, Eugene Carroll. That's another tactic people like him use. They jump back and forth to try to keep their opponent and or audience off guard. If you're constantly trying to keep up with them, it gives you less time to counter their bullshit mentally.
Excuse me.
Yeah, sorry. I'm talking about Stormy Daniels, the case going on in New York right now, where he's being sued because he covered up a $130,000 payment by falsifying his business.
Allegedly.
No, he did.
Allegedly.
He did. He 100% did.
Okay,
Because
and New York City changed the law, making a misdemeanor a felony to make it a criminal trial.
Okay, but lying
No, that did not happen. That did not.
and having
Making a misdemeanor
That
of. Okay, and New
Michael-
York.
coming from highly fancy widely. What happened?
New York City changed the law,
they
making a
didn't.
misdemeanor a felony to make it a criminal trial.
Okay, but lying and having it be a misdemeanor is not
well,
any
and
different
again,
than
he
lying and
says
having
that
it be
he
a
didn't
felony.
have sex with her.
Yeah,
He
but
said,
But that didn't happen either. See, she's lying.
that he didn't.
he still made the
Were
payment
you
to
there?
her, and he falsified.
Well,
I don't know
a
if he
lot
had
of
sex with her or not.
celebrities make
It doesn't matter
cash
if he had
money.
sex
And
with
he
her.
did
It
initially.
wasn't
Star is a
done.
celebrity, with all due
Yeah,
respect.
Well, with all due respect, you're 2.5 hours.
I don't think a
and if it
porn
wasn't
star-
And he falsified.
Well,
I don't know
a
if he
lot
had
of
sex with her or not.
celebrities make
It doesn't matter if he had
cash
sex with
money
her.
I don't think
payments, and
a
if it
porn star
wasn't
is a
done-
celebrity, with all due
Yeah,
respect.
Well, with all due respect, you're 2.5 hours late, so I really don't care what you have to say.
Okay.
Your time is-
See? Immediately, the Marge the Goon cosplay goes full Janine Pirro, barking and fucking talking shit. All right off the bat. And here's the thing. What her little pigeon brain doesn't realize is that right there, that is also a large part of why this guy and this guy want nothing to do with the MAGA movement because they act like feral hogs.
obviously a lot
Shots
more.
fired.
A lot.
Specifically, Google the word feral hogs, like that term, feral hogs, and you will see the danger and how problematic feral hogs can be.
More.
You know what? I left my son's
enabling.
birthday party an hour before he turned 9 just to be here because I
You didn't know it was going to be his birthday?
No, I did know it was
Alright.
going to be.
Okay, we'll get back on
I
to
do
Todd.
want to keep.
She wanted to
I
do
wanna keep
both
focused.
things. She wanted to, what she's trying to explain is she wanted to do both things. She wanted to do both events, is what she's trying to explain. But Chatty Cathy and Pigeon Brain here are going to go high school mean girl because they're operating on like the same level of like a 14-year-old, and they're feral. They're fucking feral. And you're seeing it right here. Just like how Christians are the ones pushing people away from Christianity. Just how the actions of Israel is what turns people against Israel. Well, the behavior of MAGA turns people against MAGA, but none of them are intelligent enough to understand this.
On the focus on the prompt.
And they're not mature enough for personal accountability.
So
We're
if I can
firing.
ask,
11.
I want to
like
keep the
that's
focus.
very-
See, that's why this guy right here is going to spend most of his time laughing at these people because he's like, you're the reason I walked away, man. You showed me the error of my fucking ways, man. I did not want to associate with your level of fucking filth.
On the focus on the prompt.
He's like, man, I'm a Republican because I like guns and I don't like to share my wealth. But y'all are just evil. And then this dude over here on the far left, he's like, I'm just a Republican because I'm a stockbroker.
Prompt.
so if
We're
I can
firing-
ask this
we're
young
firing
man,
on all
'cause he seems to bring
She's like, I'm a Republican. Like, these two are These two are, I'm a Republican because I came up in a Republican household. That's what's going on here. Like her probably grew up in a Republican household, married a Republican man. Him, he grew up with Republican parents, or he grew up with like hippy dippy parents, like people who were like way too fucking hippified and shit. And that like pushed him the other way. But yeah. But most likely, I mean, I'm looking at him and I'm like, nah, you're in a nice Republican conservative home. He's growing up in the suburbs. Same for her. But like I said, this dude, he's a Republican because he likes his guns and he doesn't like to share his money. I mean, look at him. He's a bro. And I'm looking at his build and there's a possibility he could even be a veteran. This dude just came up in just a stereotypical average life, and now he sees an opportunity to hop on a bandwagon. And it happens to be a bandwagon that will allow him to explore all of his worst qualities. So he's trying to emulate. He's got his costume on. But yeah, at some point in time, I will not be surprised to find out that this dude is ex-military. I mean, because like he's got a kind of like a thick boy bod, but it's like kind of firm, because like those aren't like moobs, those are pecs.
Bring up these trials a lot. So can I ask you,
Yeah.
do you think that there has ever been an instance of using the law to hurt a political enemy? Has that ever happened in this country?
I think that
What does that have to do with anything? Has there ever been an instance where the law has been used? I mean, of course there has. It happens all the time. I mean, primarily like Republicans do it fucking constantly. Like one of the things they do, closing the polls right before elections, they're doing that to hurt their political opponent. And they use the law to do it. Gerrymandering, using the law to hurt your political opponent. So this idiot doesn't even know what he's talking about. He's just farting out words that he has heard on like Newsmax or the Daily Wire. I guarantee you he is Daily Wire meat. But yeah, it happens all the time. But also, what do you mean by hurt? You come at me with that shit, I'm going to say, well, of course, but what do you mean by hurt? Because when you lock a murderer in jail for murdering, it still hurts the murderer. So just because someone is being harmed by the law doesn't mean they're being wrongfully harmed. He's just farting out words.
Has that ever happened in this country?
absolutely. I think
But
that
he thinks he can. What's going through his head right now is,
I'm a big grown adult, and he's just a little boy, so I'm going to talk down to him because I got my big old brain.
but I don't know. I'm fairly confident that that kid's got more wrinkles on his brain than this dude does.
Okay,
listen, let me finish.
Okay.
I think that some of the cases against Trump are a little bit stretched. I will give you that. But at the same time, Trump did falsify these business records, and we've known about it for the past 5 years. It hasn't been brought to court because he was president, but as soon as he wasn't president, they brought it to court. There was $130,000 that he falsified as a business expense. So if you're going to say that he was being honest about that, he wasn't being honest. It doesn't matter whether it's a misdemeanor
And
or
yet
felony.
they're charging
It's
it with
still
a
a lie.
campaign.
Right. So let's say I give you this one instance of dishonesty.
But it wasn't
How
one.
does that?
That's not one. It's 30 for.
Prove that in its totality,
Carroll.
President Trump is more dishonest,
I challenge
especially
you.
versus
Let's-
other
Alyssa,
politicians.
RC.
Right?
Why wouldn't you
So
want to?
You're giving me one example.
Hold on.
I
Why
just
wouldn't
gave
you
you
want to
another
be
one.
honest about your business dealings, though?
just
Isn't
one.
that literally one of the most founding marks of American?
Again,
the charge
we
is
can
a
we
lie.
can debate the.
See, I told you. He's a Republican because he's a stockbroker. Oh, whoa, no. I'm a Republican because I'm a businessman and I worship at the altar of capitalism. This guy is shitting upon the altar of capitalism. Hold on. Hold on, my cosplay friend. Hold on, my... Oh, God. He's like a Trump. I mean, look, he even... I feel like he puckers on purpose when he talks, and I even feel like he's forcing the hand thing. You know what I'm saying? Because he's trying to emulate Trump. I feel like he's intentionally even been like in the mirror doing this whole thing. So he's kind of like a Trump worshipping version of a furry. So he's a Trumpy.
Intricacies of this trial, which is literally being legislated right now in court. So
I
I'm
would
saying,
argue
but
that
I'm saying,
his
let's say you're
entire
right.
rhetoric
Okay,
is a
he
lie.
stopped doing
He's
it.
campaigning in 2024 on the fact that he won the 2020 election. He did not win the 2020 election.
How
he
many
is
presidents-
0 for 60 in court cases.
Well, let's
Okay,
not
how
even
many-
forget the
He is
entire
if you
tagline of
put a
Make
batter
America
up-
Great Again.
How many
America was
presidents
already
have
great.
been elected? Not how many bellwether counties do they have to win to become
It doesn't
president?
matter.
No,
There
it
has
does
not been
matter.
a single proven
Historically-
case of fraud.
All right,
There has
let's-
not been a
wait,
single
I want to
proven
just
case
pull
of
in
fraud.
voices who haven't spoke yet. Sorry, what's your name?
Travis.
Travis, you were trying to get in here?
The issue that I personally take with the honesty of Trump is that the entire tagline of Make America Great Again is inherently dishonest because America was already great. Sure, we've got a lot of issues that are going on in the country. We've got racial division, we've got political division. Even the factionalism between the political sides are an issue. But that doesn't mean that America isn't already inherently
He's a church and business Republican.
great. We've got so many great policies that are in
I bet you he's a Methodist.
place. The American dream is still
Or
alive,
Lutheran.
I believe, personally.
Back in 2022,
He's
I
either a
lost
Methodist
two
or a
very
Lutheran.
important people in my life. Big figures. It really wasn't until February of this year that
Can I ask, did you take that directly from Elizabeth Warren or Hillary?
What? See? 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 And this is why he's laughing. Once again, thanks for reminding me of why I left. Every time they open their mouths, it reminds him of why he left. Because once again, no substance, no nothing. Oh, I'm just going to throw an insult. Haha, I win. I called you dumb. Haha, I win. That's the level they all operate on.
Hey there.
Oh, I've heard them say that many times. I was just curious.
Well, it doesn't
No.
make it any less.
Oh, I directly from Elizabeth Warren or Hillary?
Neither.
Oh, I've heard them say that many times. I was just curious.
No. No. You know what? I've heard a lot of Republicans say things to that nature. Kinzinger, one of them.
Well, it doesn't make it any less true, even if they did say it. I mean, do you think that the American dream is dead? Do you think people just can't move
Well,
up?
if
no,
America
let
is
me
so
ask-
great under
let
the
me
leadership
answer.
of Barack Obama and Joe Biden, then why
Yeah.
even bother being a Republican?
Right.
But just to
Right.
close the loop, let's
That doesn't make any sense. Because, I mean, honestly, like, of the intelligent, like, rational, like, non-dirtbag Republicans, the big divide for them is economic issues. They don't like sharing their wealth, to put it simply. So, and, well, and some of them want to impose religion on people who don't want anything to do with their religion. I mean, there is that, the religious issues, I guess. But like the biggest thing for them will be like the financial thing, and then the second thing for them. But like even a lot of the Republicans that still don't like the gays have gotten to this point where they're like, I really don't care. Let them be. Let them get married. Let them do whatever the fuck they want. Just fucking give my Mima her Medicare back. But these idiots, they don't have the brain power to process that. We're going to find out from this dude right here. We're going to find out from him.
No, he asked me a
We got lots of great prompts.
He asked me a question I want to answer
Oh, okay.
with a general statement. A lot of people would call you, our opposition here, rhinos. I will not use that word. I consider you Democrats.
And what does rhino mean?
See? No. Once again, 12 IQ points. She's stuck in high school. She has not mentally or emotionally matured beyond her freshman year. She is still stuck in that. Nothing of substance has come out of her mouth yet. She's just throwing out insults. And at this point, like, I'm hoping that the lady in red knocks her out of the stool here in a minute.
Republican in name only. I consider you a Democrat as well as you.
Yeah. And then let's.
I just can't. I don't understand how you can say that. I have conservative values. I have conservative values on abortion. I have conservative values on education. I just don't like a cult leader leading our cause.
Can I ask you, will you be voting for Biden or Trump, or are you sitting out?
I will be voting for Biden because I don't.
So you're a conservative.
No.
How are you a Democrat if you vote for a Democrat?
No, because in the general election, you can vote for any fucking person you want. It doesn't change your affiliation. But she's going to sit here and explain how she thinks of herself as an American, yet she don't know shit all about America.
Because I don't want someone in power that's going to not want to leave. I don't want someone.
Oh my God.
Like,
you are not a Republican.
At the end of 4 years.
Freaking way.
We had gotten to a point where, let's say there is an instance where Trump it's proven that he was dishonest about something. Are you willing to look past that? You were trying to make that point.
Well, the point I had made, and I didn't get an answer from either of these folks, which is, comparatively, is Trump more honest than other politicians? And we've given examples of how he is and how that has actually led to persecution from him.
No. They have feelings. He has feelings. Everything he has said is motivated by his feels.
In fact, you're only kind of proving this. You agree that lawfare exists, but for some reason you don't think it's applicable in this criminal trial. So my question is, do you think he...
No, because he's not being tried by Congress. He's being tried by the state of New York. Their court system, their judicial system.
He's comparatively honest based upon the fact that he's off the cuff.
Okay, so I guess since I live... Now, by P-Brain's fucking logic, I live in a mostly Republican state. It definitely has except for the governor, it's a completely Republican government. And our cops even brag about being Republican. So if I get arrested for something, if I go to court for something, if I get convicted and jailed of something, it's lawfare. Because I'm a Democrat, right? That's what I can claim. I can claim that it's lawfare against me for being a Democrat. They're trying to arrest me, to keep me from being able to vote, right? Or maybe this dude just has a tiny little pea brain and he likes to speak, but he doesn't like to think.
And very authentic.
So first of all,
you give me that?
Just because all of the trials aren't the best cases doesn't mean that some of the trials aren't great cases. Like, for example, he kept files at Mar-a-Lago for 6 months with warnings from the FBI and CIA, and
So did
he
Biden,
had the
though.
chance to give them back. And he
He tried to hide them and move them to cover up the fact of what he was really doing with them. The minute this all happened, no one even had to investigate Biden. Biden told his own people, you know what? And I hate having to defend Biden, He said, you know what? Go ahead and check my shit. Make sure I don't have anything. And then as soon as they said, oh yeah, you've got some old files here from back when you were vice president. And he was like, oh, okay. Well, here, fucking turn them all in. He never even had to be asked. And it wasn't the same because it wasn't the same kind of files. The stuff he had was the type of stuff that a vice president would have. The type of stuff that a vice president walks around with is different from the type of stuff a president walks around with. But even if you're going to pretend that it's the same, no one had to investigate Biden. No one had to even ask Biden to turn it over. He voluntarily turned everything over. Here's your shit. Trump had to be asked several times. And every time he was asked, he refused. And so they had to make it a legal issue and recover the files by force. And the whole reason he had to was because he kept refusing. And the whole reason he kept refusing is because his advisors told him, keep refusing, and that way when they send the FBI, you can claim that Biden is weaponizing the FBI against you, and da-da-da-da-da-da. They did that on purpose for the optics, because they're children.
Didn't, and so now he's on trial for it. That's a clear crime. The same thing with Stormy Daniels. That's a clear crime. So like, I think that him being honest about certain things is okay. But if you're not honest about the big stuff, if you're not honest about that Americans can trust our elections.
You think Biden's more honest?
I think on the issues that matter, he might be than Trump. Because I
bring up classified files. Biden has mishandled classified files as well. I don't see how you can.
But he didn't willfully do that.
Oh,
he gave them back when the FBI asked him.
Okay, let's.
He didn't even have to be asked. That's just it. Biden didn't have to be asked.
Let's reset, because we're gonna get to all the good stuff again. So let's reset next month.
Reset. Hey there, how did that conversation make you feel? Do political debates make you feel anxious? I feel you on that. Look, if we're gonna get through this political season, or even this video, let's check.
Being able to have something to always protect myself with this Byrna allows me to have that peace of mind no matter.
I'm able to stay politically informed in a balanced and peaceful way. Kindness, Yale.
Hopping in the video.
Agreeers, please step forward. It's in disguise. Will the agreeers please step forward?
All of them in lockstep. Goose step the whole way. Goose step, goose step.
So I think conceptually it's perfectly possible to be a Republican and say, you know what, I don't think Trump is the best option. I would rather someone.
And here's the thing. See, this dude here has like one more IQ point than these three ladies here. Because once again, all four of the anti-Trumpers are looking at them and going, and this is another reason why I walked away. I disagree, and y'all accuse me of being a Democrat. was taking care of the puppy and grabbing a bite. Came up with a theory about this one. I think she's a Republican. Well, what the kids today call a trad wife, but there's like different kinds of trad wives. There's what used to be called a housewife, which is the real trad wife. Kids today want to call things traditional wife, trad wife. Yeah, back in the day, it was just the term was housewife. She took care of the house while the husband took care of the stuff outside the house. She did the cooking, cleaning, yada, 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 you know, and would, you know, sometimes, you know, especially in the older cultures, but it kind of changed. But the woman would even do the yard work. But that role kind of switched where the husband was mowing on the weekends. Had to use the mower, I guess, whatever. But anyway, yeah. But that's the actual, and then you've got the Republican trad wife, which is what back in, back when I was younger, me and some of my friends, we would call them pegs, as in Peg Bundy. Sometimes they would be referred to as trophy wives, but like they didn't really do a lot of anything. It just existed. Somebody else was doing the cleaning. They might do some cooking, but you know, they saw that, you know, and I'm betting this is the type of trad wife she is. But those, they see their role is it's my job to have sex with my husband and wear a lot of nice things and go get mani-pedis and hire nannies and da-da-da-da-da-da.
Like Ron DeSantis. And I know a lot of friends who are hardcore conservatives, they would rather DeSantis for X, Y, or Z reasons. That's totally legitimate. But at the end of the day, they're still Republicans. They're still conservative. So they're going to vote for the person on the ballot who best represents conservative values.
Okay. Lauren is making the same argument and rationale that some of the Germans who elected Hitler made once they realized they were complicit in crimes against humanity with their vote. And seriously, yeah, I'm not pulling any punches here. It's literally what's happening. She's giving the same rationale that those Germans who elected Hitler. Because that's the thing. Hitler was elected in a free and fair election. He was elected, voted into office. And those people who elected him, once he started going off the rails, and they realized, oh, I'm complicit in crimes against fucking humanity, their rationale was, well, he was the one on the Republican ballot, so I had to vote Republican. These other people are like, no. When a villain takes over your party, you vote the villain the fuck out. And this is the other thing they don't realize. This whole... If you have devoted yourself, your loyalty and everything, your values, your way of life and living and thinking, you have devoted it to this group. But then all of a sudden one day, this new guy, an outsider, because literally that's what Trump was. Trump was a registered Democrat all of his life until Obama got elected. And then he switched, and this is the thing, he didn't switch parties when Obama got elected. He first started, he was still a Democrat when he started all of his racist attacks against Obama, saying Obama wasn't really from America because of his name. He couldn't possibly be an American. He had to be a Muslim from Africa because of his name. That's what he kept saying. But no, it wasn't until some of his own Democrat friends started turning against him for his attacks, and he got isolated and ostracized because of his attacks. Because at the end of the day, he was a registered Democrat, but he was still a racist, lifelong racist, and he couldn't handle having a black president. Look it up. His family's been historically racist. His niece even admits to it. But and there's been songs about it. But it was when he decided he wanted to be president and he wanted to get into politics and he wanted to influence. Well, maybe he hadn't decided he wanted to be president yet, but when he decided he was like wanting to influence politics and saw he had influence with Republican politicians who also didn't like having a black president, that's when he decided to switch his registration. So he was an outsider. There's Corey. God, I can't wait to hear from Corey. I fucking love Corey. He's going to be fucking brilliant. I just know it. He's going to fucking dazzle me. But, yeah, but so just imagine that you've devoted yourself, your values, your everything, your ideology to this party, and then this outsider, this complete and total outsider who is obviously making moves to increase his wealth and power and fame. And that's all it is. That's all Trump's doing. He doesn't give a shit about any of this. He just wants wealth and power, period. And fame, period. But people like Corey and the others, they see this outsider coming and taking over the party. And then all of a sudden, anytime they disagree or say anything against this man, they get accused of being traitors. Now imagine you're in that. You have devoted yourself to this. And then every time you disagree, if you're an evangelical, an outsider, this pastor, an outsider, new guy comes to your church and starts saying these off-the-rails things. And every time you speak against him, you get called a heretic and an outsider and a blasphemer. Every time you speak against this new leader in your group, you get called a traitor. Well, you're going to say, fuck you guys, right? 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 But bird brain and bitch face don't understand this.
That is Donald Trump. I don't care what kind of personal issues you have with him. You don't think he's the most honest, whatever. You don't like his business dealings. You can't tell me.
Her rationale is if the actual devil came up and ran as a Republican, I would vote for him because he's a Republican. What she's saying is if fucking that pedophile dude from Subway, if he got out of prison tomorrow and ran as a Republican, I would vote for him because he's a Republican, is what she's saying. That's her rationale. That's her whole entire logic and rationale.
Though, that you honestly believe that Joe Biden is going to pursue a more conservative right-wing agenda than...
No. See, once again, she's doing broken fucking logic. I would have to say nobody thinks Biden is going to be more conservative than Trump. They think he's safer. They would rather do 4 years under a Democrat than to risk handing the country to someone like Trump. And what they're saying is Trump doesn't have conservative values in the first fucking place. So, I mean, that's how dumb people like them are.
Donald Trump. There's no
And then her here, we haven't heard a single fucking intelligent word out of her mouth yet. Just her calling names. She's just there because she's a drama queen in a costume and she craves attention. And that's what this is all about. I bet you she used to have friends and doesn't have any anymore because they can't stand the way she's acting.
Justification for that. And so, you know, anti-Trump, yeah, not necessarily. Maybe there's one or two people who describe themselves that way, but they're still a Republican. But it seems like when push comes to shove, 99% of the time, when there is someone who says, I'm a Republican, but I just don't like Trump, they also end up.
Here's the thing. She's confusing loyalty to the man with loyalty to the party and loyalty to the ideal. She's loyal to the man. She's loyal to the man. She's loyal to the man. Lady MAGA is loyal to the gimmick, and so is JC. Okay? Loyal to the man, loyal to the man. That kid over there is loyal to the ideal of republicanism. Dude in the suit, the one I called the stockbroker, loyal to the party. I don't know about the other two yet.
Up saying, and I will in fact be voting for Joe Biden.
Mitt Romney said that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, go ahead, my dear.
Well, and again, we've seen it with Liz Cheney and many others, and I think we have a problem with the uniparty in this country right now. When you look
at... What do you mean by that, uniparty?
What I mean by that I think that there's a lot of politicians that are funded by corporate. We have a problem with the uniparty. Earlier this year, nearly 10 articles were published claiming Mitt Romney said he wouldn't vote for Trump over Biden. Out of these articles, only 11% were from publications rated right-leaning, making this story a potential blind spot if you tend to get your news from the sources. Half are from sources rated highly factual. But, I mean, that's not saying he would vote for Joe Biden. It's just saying he wouldn't vote for Trump. So, I mean, he could still vote for DeSantis or Nikki Haley. Party in this country right now. When
Robert
you
Kennedy.
look
What do you mean by that, uniparty?
What I mean by that I think that there's a lot of politicians that are funded by corporations and lobbyists, and they don't care about the voice of the people. What they care about is where the money's coming from.
She doesn't care about the voice
That's
of the
what
people.
I mean
She
by
only cares about-
uniparty.
She doesn't care about the voice of the people, though. That's just it. Once again, this is how dumb she is. Her very presence on that chair contradicts what she's saying about implying that there is this voice of the people that she gives a shit about. Because the only voice she cares about is her own. And that is what she is denoting. She's already said, anyone who doesn't look like me, talk like me, pray like me, and vote for Donald Trump. Anyone who isn't blindly loyal to Donald Trump doesn't count as an American, is what she's saying. So, I mean, here's the thing. If, in this whole, oh, there's this uniparty, isn't that what MAGA is? Literally, like no one who isn't loyal to Trump is allowed to exist in America. Project 2025, replacing everyone. Donald Trump appointing more judges than any other fucking president in history. This is all about loyalty in a uniparty. And she's like, oh, they're the uniparty. And this is so stupid. Oh, anyone who disagrees with you is part of this uniparty. You're trying to establish one, you fucking moron. She's dumber than a dog turd. And I think it's on both sides of the aisle. I don't think it's exclusively Republican. I don't think it's exclusively Democrat. The problem I have is when we see our country right now, we've got 18 million people that have crossed our border illegally. We have over 100,000 missing migrant children, and we have Biden's State Department basically giving our military base in Panama, funding NGOs with military-age men and flying them into our country. If you can vote for that and say you're a Republican, I'm sorry, you're not. everything I can't even take apart what she said because it was all just a jumble of random words that don't, I mean, most of them don't mean any. If you can, she talks like Trump does. If you can give, I mean, our base in Panama, they're flying in military age men in our NGOs and flying them here. What? What? A nonprofit organization that operates independently of any government, typically one whose purpose is to address a social or political issue, non-governmental organization. See? Like, I guess NGO is the new FEMA, because FEMA was the enemy when Obama was president. Remember, they're going to round us all up in FEMA camps and execute us. Okay, well then who would they govern if they do that? And who is going to build things, and who's going to work the companies, and who's going to work the post offices? And if they round us all up and put us in, see, they don't think about any of the shit they say. They just fart out words. But I mean, so Doctors Without Borders, I get, is the enemy now, because when Trump got elected, I was one of the first people to go, hey, FEMA's going to round us all up in camps now. They're going to put us all in FEMA camps. They're going to round us all up and they're going to execute us. And the Republicans were like, nuh-uh, Trump wouldn't let that happen. And it's like, oh, really? But it's all the same people that were there under Obama. Well, that's just, these are just like employees. They just get hired like the post office, like people who work at the post office work for the government. Same thing with FEMA. And it's like, yeah, you know what? It's the same fucking FEMA that was there under Obama, you fucking moron. You're so stupid. You're not even following your own fucking accusations.
Absolutely.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No,
it angers me.
I am a big believer in the phrase, by their enemies you shall know them. I'm from Utah. I'm a gay man, a drag artist, but I don't believe in pronouns. I don't claim to be a woman. I would never go in a women's bathroom. But our very Republican Mormon governor, Spencer Cox, can't stand Donald Trump. He's just so mean. And our Republican governor has he, him pronouns in his social media bio. So he is allowing Utah to slide.
Her brain is all over the place. She's just farting out like talking points and shit. She's splicing together several other things that she's heard people say. Or he. I guess I'm supposed to say he now. But that doesn't make any sense. If you're Lady MAGA, but I would never... So aren't you Mr. MAGA? She did not, he did, they did not think this through.
Down the slope of wokeism, he is in no way, shape, or form a real conservative. And so people like my cowardly, emasculated governor.
He doesn't like Trump, and he put he, him in his bio. Therefore, we're sliding into wokeism. I'm not a woman. I'm just playing one on TV. Guess what? Republicans don't care for the gays either, you moron.
Hate Donald Trump, and that says everything to me. And as this young man said, he would vote for Joe Biden. Joe Biden supports aborting a 9-month-old, fully grown baby in the womb.
That doesn't... President Biden's pro-choice. Some believe his stance is progressive enough. Following comments he made at recent campaign events, I love how Trump now says Biden is for abortion on demand. That's not true. That's not what Roe v. Wade said. It said the 3 trimesters and how it worked. Biden said he's a practicing Catholic and doesn't want abortion on demand. He instead believes in women's right to choose early on in her pregnancy. Well, see, that's the thing. See, they're misconstruing that. No one's doing abortion on demand, whatever the fuck that is. I mean, abortion on demand, like anyone just like rolls up and says abort me. I mean, no, it doesn't like work that way. And the whole like doing abortions at 9 months, that's dumb shit Republicans say. They just make shit up. And then we're supposed to, and I hate it when people legitimize it, and fuck you, Jubilee, for letting that go, because that's not a thing. 9-month abortions aren't a fucking thing. What he's saying is, it said the 3 trimesters and how it worked is he's just saying it. There's 3 trimesters to a pregnancy, and the Roe v. Wade thing, like, fully laid out, stipulated, and it did, like, what all the legalities and stipulations and limitations and everything were throughout those 3 trimesters. That doesn't mean I want to do abortions. I want to abort kids when they're 2 years old. I mean, wouldn't an abortion at 9 months actually be a delivery? I mean, if you think about it, an abortion at 9 months is just a delivery, right? Good God.
He said he's pro-life, but he would vote for Joe Biden. So yes, he's a Democrat. These people are Democrats, as far as we're concerned.
No. Lady Maga, do you mind if I just do a quick follow-up
Of course.
on your story? How do you find yourself as a conservative?
How do you find yourself as someone who actively legislates against you?
Business as usual.
How did you find yourself supporting people who actively legislate against you?
He is in no way, shape, or form a real conservative. And so people like my cowardly, emasculated governor hate Donald Trump, and that says everything to me. And as this young man said, he would vote for Joe Biden. Joe Biden supports aborting a 9-month-old, fully grown baby in the womb. He said he's pro-life, but he would vote for Joe Biden. So yes, he's a Democrat. These people are Democrats, as far as we're concerned.
Lady Maga, do you mind if I just do a quick
lie.
follow-up
And
on
please
your
fact check
story?
me.
How do you find yourself
Republicans fear fact
as a
checkers.
conservative?
I don't
think
fear fact
Most people would
checkers. Fact
associate
check me.
being
That's
a
not
gay
a
man.
thing.
Is that
Yeah,
correct? Being gay with being liberal.
But see, I think that's a lie too.
Oh, no, I'm just
That
addressing.
we as Republicans don't like gay people. That is a
Yeah.
lie.
No, it
Well,
absolutely
that is a lie.
It's great to know. I
I
just
can
want to
answer
hear.
that
Yeah.
very quickly. I am a biological gay man. This is my drag persona. I don't live my life as a woman. But the I call it the LGBTQIA plus ever expanding alphabet mafia. And I had to step away from the alphabet people, as I call them, pushing transgenderism, hormones, and mutilation on children. That was one. And as a dignified drag artist who loves to present a sparkly, fabulous character, I could no longer stand by.
No one is No one in the queer community is pushing anything on anyone other than the demand of equality and equity. and stop legislating against them. That's the only thing they're pushing, is to be acknowledged as normal human beings like everyone else. No one is pushing anything else. My God, my shoe is smarter than this fucking dipshit. And I'm telling you right now, everything he is doing is for fucking show. He saw an opportunity to cash in. The same way Candace Owens did. Oh, I'm going to join the right and be the Uncle Ruckus character that tells all the racist white people that everything they think about minorities is true. And so he is cashing in on, oh, I want to be the first person to do the drag queens for Trump thing. Because it's a spectacle. Or in the wrestling business, they call it an attraction. It's a circus. It's a sideshow. That's what he's doing. And if he says otherwise, he's a fucking liar, which, well, we already know he's a liar because every time he opens his mouth, it's either tossing out an insult or lying. He's George Santos. Are we sure that's not George Santos?
And watch drag queens stripping in a thong and a trapeze in front of children who are the same age as my nieces and nephews. So I had to step away from that.
No.
And Donald Trump expanded who gets to be a conservative. The MAGA crowd, we are wild. We are fun. We are outside the box.
No, he didn't. One of the first things he did was kick transgender people out of the military. So once again, a lie. Once again, stupid.
I don't fit the cookie cutter suit and tie Republican. So as a gay,
you don't fit the cookie cutter of an intelligent human being.
Man, that's why I'm a conservative.
But he literally just confessed as to why he's doing this. It makes him into a spectacle because then the Trumpers get to go, see, even the drag queens agree with us of how awful drag queens are.
Conservative, and there are millions of gay conservatives, but they're terrified to say anything because
I'm going to go further and I'm going to challenge this bitch to prove that he was a drag queen before this. Because I would happily accuse him of magically becoming a drag queen about the same day Trump became a Republican.
As they will be attacked for supporting Donald Trump.
Were you a pro-Trump, right? Like when he first entered the political scene?
You know, I voted for him with my eyes closed. I was like, Hillary or Donald Trump? This is a gamble, but obvious I couldn't vote for Hillary. So I voted for Donald Trump, and then I watched him very closely. I'm not a celebrity worshiper. He's not a superstar. I'm not in a cult for Donald Trump. I scrutinize every single thing he does because that's my job as an American, is to scrutinize anyone who has a leadership position that involves my life.
Lie, 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 lie.
So he won me over, and I know I'm talking too much, but the day he really, really won me over is when he called Haiti an
liar, liar, balls on fire.
SHIT hole. And I'll explain why. I lived overseas for 10 years of my life, working in the humanitarian realm. I spent years in Africa. Haiti is very similar to Africa.
I'm going to accuse that of being a lie as well.
Children don't have their rights. Women can get raped with no protection from the police. So by calling a spade and using that phrase, I realized this guy gets it. He's not like...
Calling a spade. What interesting terminology to use on black people. What interesting terminology to use when speaking about black people and lying about, because I'm going to accuse that of being a lie, going to Africa being a lie. I'm going to accuse this person of being a George Santos right now. This is George Santos Jr. right here.
Barack Hussein Obama, who's a cultural relativist who pretends that Haiti is the equal of America and our way of life. So, as
okay, Barack Obama never, that once again, just spitting out words, and none of these words have any basis in truth, and none of them are even logical. Like, she's not even like putting together coherent logical sentences anymore. She's just like I said, like earlier, where she just strung together these random snippets from things that she's heard other people say. She's doing the thing Elon Musk does, repeating things that she's heard people smart. Why do I keep saying she? See, because I respect people is why I'm saying she. I'm going to say he, since he insisted he does not want to identify as a woman, so he. So, Mr. MAGA, Mr. Magoo, that works too. Because this person is blind as a bat, can't even see how dumb they are. But yeah, so I forgot what I was saying because there's so much bullshit here. Yeah, just stringing together bits and pieces of things like Elon Musk does. Takes a bunch of stuff that he's heard actual engineers and coders say and repeats those. But then you go back and you ask those actual engineers and coders, what did he just say? And they're like, yeah, what he said makes no sense. It's wrong. Apparently, he just overheard somebody else having a conversation, memorized a few terms, and then used them improperly. And, oh, that's what Mr. Magoo is doing over here.
As off color as the comment was, a little bell went off in my head like, this guy is not a polished teleprompter politician like Mitt Romney. So
a little bell went off in your head. The only thing Mr. Magoo has in his head is a little bell. Trying to remember the old knowledge is power jingle. Because knowledge is power. Which is why this person is weak.
he won me over.
Mr.
Many other reasons too, but that was an important
Yeah,
one.
thank you for sharing your backstory.
Sorry, could I just expand upon that? I think Donald Trump has won over a lot of people, and if you're anti-Trump in 2016, you don't want to vote for him, I could understand that more. But after seeing everything Donald Trump has done in office to advance the conservative cause, whether that's appointing the judges, I mean, easing the tax burden on Americans, trying to...
The tax burden hasn't been eased on Americans. Oh my God, I'm just realizing that the MAGA Lori is a Botox victim.
Do something about the ridiculous immigration
And she's
system, you
painting
name
herself the same color.
He has a proven track record of conservative government, maybe not as conservative as I would like, but it's still something. And so at this point, for people to still be, no, I would rather Joe Biden, there's no excuse other than you're a Democrat.
Let's bring in our disagreeers.
Okay, I know you've been waiting a whole year. We're sorry about that. But all players get ready.
Mr. Magoo even sits. I mean, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Look at this. Look at this. Even this is part of the show and part of the spectacle. What he's doing is he knows it would make, he knows he's supposed to sit over here, but he wants to disrupt and stand out and be a spectacle. So he sits over here on the opposite side. It's, look, everything is a spectacle. Looking at the camera. See, did you see that? Did you see that? Look, watch.
Bring in our
see,
disagreeers.
watch. Notice me, give me attention, oh my God, he looks like Kellyanne Conway. Haggish. Hagatha.
We haven't heard from you yet. Why don't you start
Okay,
us off?
there was like so much that said, where would you like me to start from?
Whatever feels right to you.
All right, thank
Corey
you.
is
I
dying.
think, first of all, when we say that it was an isolated incident, and just to touch back just a moment before, just because you have diarrhea of the mouth does not mean you're honest. It just means you have poor couth. You don't know how to be respectful. And B, as a lot of you say, what is the Republican candidate movement is the word that's coming about. It's about faith, family, values, integrity.
Oh, okay.
When you think of Donald Trump.
Okay. She was raised. Okay, now I've figured out what. She's a church Republican. Yep, she's a church Republican.
You think of integrity.
I do.
Yeah.
I do. But,
well,
and again, I'm not looking for a
finish.
pastor. I'm looking
That was
for
more
a president.
rhetorical. That was more rhetorical, if you will. Thank you. So I think that's the first thing to be said. And you said one incident with the Stormy Daniels. And
again, we're in disagreement there.
Okay, but let's go on. You just think about this for a moment. The likelihood of these two women being in the same room, a writer and a porn star, barely a celebrity, D-list celebrity, right? Even if she was an amazing producer and writer of porn films, okay? She's still very bottom D-list celebrity. And this woman who never would have crossed paths under any circumstances. Where are these women meeting, by the way? Is she writing the porn scripts? No, we know that's not true. And they both have the same story.
May I address
the
this?
same story. Let me finish. You've been talking a lot. Let me finish, please.
Yes.
It's just not coincidence. You have to say there's a little bit of shred of truth there that two women from opposite walks of life would have the same narrative. It just doesn't make sense that would be all lies. And so that's just the first thing, because you were saying, oh, it's only one incident.
No, I never said that.
Well, someone.
But I said what you're.
Now she's lying about what she said. And I think it might have just clicked with her, like, wait a minute, you did say that.
Saying's not true because it doesn't give the entire fact of the matter. First of all, you say that you should believe women. Does that mean that you also believe?
I never said that we should believe women.
Yeah, see, she can't tell the truth. She can't. She immediately went into Fox News mode and started reciting from the script, started doing the practiced and trained rebuttal. She created a narrative in her head. This is... She was right. She did say more than once there was just the one incident. And then someone else brought up E. Jean Carroll. She was right. And then she lies. You said we should believe women. No, and that's just it. I wouldn't even say we should believe women. And the thing is, the women from the Me Too movement will even tell you, we're not saying you should believe women. We're saying you should listen. You should listen. Stop ignoring them. Look over here. Oh my God.
Well, Tara Reid, for instance.
Oh my
who
God.
was
Doing makeup.
slammed and shamed for accusing Joe Biden and actually had the evidence to back it up. You're talking about.
Wait, what? She's just fabricating.
Out Jean Carroll. I would challenge anybody in this room.
$83 million.
I would challenge any. Let me finish what I'm
Yeah.
saying now.
Yeah. You don't pay out $83 million if you're innocent.
Please. I would challenge anybody in this room to go into a crowded department store and scream that you're being raped and see what happens. There.
Oh my God. What is. I mean, first off, you're going to be lucky if there is a reaction. I mean, that's just the reality of things. Most people won't react for different reasons. First off, most people are going to be, a lot of people are going to assume you're faking it. And then there's the people who just don't want to get involved. Yeah. But that doesn't matter because that's not what E. Jean Carroll described.
There were no witnesses. This woman went on CNN, said that she thought rape was.
Because the place was, like, what was it? The place was closed or closing. And he's like, oh, but I can make them let us in because I'm Donald Trump.
Was sexy and named her cat vagina. I think she's a nut job.
No, she didn't say rape is sexy. What she was saying is that's the public perception. That's the societal, because they put it in movies. The man forces himself on the woman. Oh, that's so sexy. It's been in so many movies. Oh, that's so hot. That's so steamy. Nowadays people are pointing out, hey, this character in this movie that y'all gave an Oscar to for the romance, it wasn't romantic. He was being a sex pest. But yeah, they put it in not just in porn movies. I mean, like mainstream movies, you'll have a man forcing himself on a woman, and they go, "Oh, that's so hot, so steamy." He starts, like, no, leave me alone. I've got to go. No, you're mine. Rips the shirt open. Ha ha ha. Starts pushing her up against the wall. Yeah, and then she gives in. And that's the thing, that was presented as being sexy, and people are like, of course there's some people who blame Hollywood for that, but Hollywood is a mirror to society's cravings. So if there's a lot of that going on in the movies, it's not Hollywood's fault, because they're creating the product that's going to make the most money. So that's what everybody's asking for. That's what everybody's paying for. That's what everybody's buying. Is they want the sexual assault scene to be presented and packaged as romance. And that's what E. Jean Carroll was saying. She was saying that that's how jaded and fucked up society is that rape is seen as being sexy. And then she did the nervous, uncomfortable laugh, because it's true. It's fucked up, but it's true. I don't think it is, but there is a whole segment. There are movies I can't watch because it's one of my huge emotional triggers. It enrages me, and I can't finish the movie. I can't enjoy the movie because I become so furious and enraged by what I'm seeing. G.I. Jane being one of those. I can't watch G.I. Jane because I become furious and I want to hurl my TV out the window. Now, granted, in G.I. Jane, it's not being presented as hot and steamy. It's being presented as, this is one more reason this dude needs to die. And that's the thing. I never got to finish the movie, but I hope there's a scene where she got to kill him. But, no, but there's a lot of movies where it's packaged as being romantic and stuff. But I just can't watch any of them. And that being why.
As far as Stormy Daniels, she had to pay Trump's legal fees last time around. And let's not forget.
Huh? Oh, God. At 4:45, I got a live stream copyright notice. It shows I'm still streaming. For what?
Forget, her attorney that put her up to this is in jail.
Watch what fish does to your old cat's body.
A lot of people that have cats are unknowingly doing something.
And to be
No. No, he's not in jail. He already got out. It's Michael Cohen. And he didn't put her up to it. He was the one who signed the check. Oh, no, wait. She's thinking about, okay, yeah, that guy. Okay, I was thinking she was talking about Michael Cohen. No. It was that, I think it was a bald-headed dude. Like an Andrew Tate type of dude. But no, he didn't put her up to it. She was looking for an attorney. She was asking for an attorney, and that's who represented her. Because it's hard for porn stars to get attorneys, especially when you're going up against the president. So that's who she was limited to, who would represent her. But he didn't put her up to it. See, everything she's doing is she's fabricating. She can't speak without lying.
No witnesses. This woman went on CNN, said that she thought rape was sexy.
No, didn't. But look at everything. Oh, gotta lean around, look around, put on a show, do the dramatic stuff. Just like how MTG does. Everything is just dramatic and for a show, and she's just farting and barking out words.
And named her cat Vagina, I think.
So, my cat's name is Putty. My dog's name is Beanie. Why is my dog's name Beanie? Because he's a beanie weenie. He's a beanie weenie. And he's right down here in the floor at my feet. But he's a cute little guy. It's like looking at him like, but, well, I call him Beanie Weenie because, the Beanie Weenie comes because it rhymes, and he's half dachshund. It's a wiener dog. Half wiener dog. But no, his name, well, I mean, I guess if he was going to have a proper name, it would actually be Beanie Baby. Because he looks just like a Beanie Baby. He looks just like the Beanie Baby that's black and that's like a black and tan puppy. Looks just like the pattern and everything. So it's a Beanie Baby. But what does that have anything? And my cat's name is Putty because I ta putty tat. So what does that have to do with anything?
Think she's a nut job. As far
Well, the thing is, though, is you're probably verifiable as an actual nut job.
as Stormy Daniels, she had to pay Trump's legal fees last time around.
On what? I don't even think that's true. Did Stormy Daniels have to pay Trump's legal fees?
According to AP News, Los Angeles, AP, Stormy Daniels must pay nearly $122,000 of Donald Trump's legal fees that were racked up in connection with the porn actor's failed defamation lawsuit, an appeals court ruled Tuesday.
Oh. Oh my God. Oh my God. See how dumb she is? That's the defamation lawsuit. They just didn't find him guilty of defamation. She's so stupid. Her mouth keeps moving, but nothing smart comes out. She just opens her face hole and lets all the noises out.
And let's not forget, her attorney that put her up to this is in jail.
And to be clear, I don't believe these two incidents are
For something completely unrelated.
just
some of the story.
coincidences.
You're
I
giving
think
the
they're both
parts
actively
why.
lying and politically
No.
motivated. So no, it's not a
They are actively lying. They are actively, and they're just being high school mean girls, and everything they do is all just like Mr. Magoo over there. Everything is just dramatic and flowery and for show. I hope this fucking Trump Jr. goofball, I hope he's embarrassed as fuck, right? Because I notice he's gone radio silent. The more these three have been talking, the more he's gone radio silent. Does everybody else notice that? I hope that's shame. Shame, because it should be. It should be shame. He should be like, oh my God, I can't believe the whole world is seeing that, like, I'm in the same group as these people. I wish I was with the other four. I'm sorry for my bad choices. I've embarrassed myself. I brought shame upon my house.
You're giving little highlights of the story that suit you about Stormy.
No, that's not true.
Yeah,
that
it
is
is
true,
true.
sweetheart.
No,
Thank
it's
Yeah,
not. Don't
it
call me
is.
sweetheart.
I can call you whatever I'd like.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's just.
Sorry, I'm just very annoyed that we all sat here.
You keep going on and on.
We're
It's
gonna have to
completely
look.
irrelevant.
Yeah, we're gonna have
You
to.
clearly have a victim
We're gonna have to
mentality.
keep moving forward.
She does. She does.
I haven't heard from you
Yeah, I know.
yet.
Are we gonna?
I know time's more valuable for you because you're
Okay,
older.
okay,
I
okay.
understand.
Oh.
Okay, so the prompt.
No, if you want to go there, I'll go.
Okay.
Oh my God. Yeah, because I mean, these two dished that shit out. They did. They did. And her too. And I hope she sees, or he, I hope Mr. Magoo sees that he needs to keep his yapper shut for the entire rest. Because, see, she is fed the fuck up of all the name calling and the bullying. One of the very things that drove her away from all this is the way she got treated from the get-go. She got insulted when she first showed up. With all due respect, with all due respect, you showed up 2 hours late, which is this. I mean, they were attacking her. mean girling her like it was high school from the get-go, and now whining. She got so mean to me. Oh, I'm fragile. I'm from Italia. Oh my God. I'm glad. And then he's just been laughing the whole time, thinking, see, this is why I walked away from the Republican Party. But I hope Mr. Magoo has learned I better not try to bully her anymore, because she's throwing it back now, and I don't have the brain power to fight back. These two are getting exactly what they deserve. I hope JC is embarrassed as fuck.
So the prompt is, you know, anti-Trump Republicans are actually Democrats. And you came in because you disagreed.
Yeah, well, I mean, and I have the perspective of really being a proud Democrat till 2012-13 when I started saying, okay, the left has completely lost its mind. And I mean, I've played at the White House 4 times, all with Democratic presidents. But I feel like I've never really moved on many of my issues. It's just the left has gone so far left.
Exactly. Yeah.
Completely. But
he doesn't speak
for
for
being
all of us.
honest.
no. But the thing is, you know, and Laura, you bring up a great point about, you know, you can slice the pie so many ways of what to call each other. You know, the elites and the politicians versus the Uniparty versus everyone else. There's so many ways you can slice it. The Democrats can be cut up in different ways. Republicans can be cut up in different ways. But my main value is protecting individualism over collectivism, capitalism over anything else. Just these core values of America. And am I anti-Trump? Absolutely. Does that mean I'm going to vote for Joe Biden? Hell no. I'm not going to do that. So you can't just call it that, oh, we're Democrats. No, I'm someone that was a Democrat, and I would never call myself that anymore, which is sad to say, but hell no. So it's complicated. There's so many ways you can slice the pie.
What makes you anti-Trump, if you had to choose one thing?
Well, I mean, even on the last prompt with, is he an honest man? Even that's kind of complicated, because when you asked it, it's like, oh God, no, he's not an honest man. He lies like crazy. But Gavin Newsom lies, I think, worse than Trump does. They all, you were more talking in the topic and aspect of, does he say things that the rest of us think in our mind and go, I wish I could say that publicly. Yeah, he does. And they all do. It's more, I kind of, plus the reason I even added to this to be part of this whole thing, is the idea that the left has just so many things they stand for is so hypocritical, so terrible, and they've put themselves on this tee as a ball for someone to hit as a grand slam and destroy them. And it's sad, especially from my perspective, coming from the left originally, to see that the person that we've decided to hit that ball and destroy them, which we should all be a team together to destroy this enemy, is Donald Trump. Really? With all the great Republicans that I really love, he's the guy that's going to lead us to the promised land to save the country from the Marxist left and everything else.
Who would you choose?
There's so many people. Well, there's actually a lot of Trump's VPs, unfortunately, some of my favorite people. Whether it's Vivek, whether it's Tulsi, whether it's Byron Donalds. I mean, I love Condoleezza Rice. We already talked about Thomas Sowell, one of my absolute heroes in the world. But why him of all? And the thing is, it has stifled this war to which we should all be together and destroying the left and stopping them. And now we're just fighting each other, and it's ruining the war to which we should be all together on.
Yeah. It's wild because, once again, you get a guy who's, oh, he's rational. Oh, he's logical. Oh, he's making sense. And that he says something.
Can I ask a question?
Absolutely insane, batshit crazy, no substance, nothing to back it up. Well, the left has just gone so far left. But this is the thing, you know, if you were to actually no, you cannot leave this room until you explain what you mean by the left has gone so far left. And he's going to end up saying something about transgenderism. Oh, so you're just bigoted against trans people. Well, no, I just don't think they really exist. That's what he'd say. Because every conversation I get in is with somebody who says that, well, y'all have gone so far left. But it's the exact opposite. I mean, think about it. The very fact, and once again, I guess he's dumb. He's dumb. He doesn't even see it. The fact that your party is eating itself alive over Donald Trump owning you as property shows that you're wrong and you're backwards. It's the exact opposite. The right has gone so far right that anyone who doesn't worship Donald Trump is now a leftist. And we have already proved it with this very fucking prompt. But yet he's too dumb and too blind and too stubborn to see it and accept it, that is what the truth is. And it would be impossible to even get him to be honest about why he really left the left if he ever was a real, I mean, I guess he says he was a Democrat. Corey Pesaturo. Oh yeah, it is him. Accordion player from Providence, Rhode Island.
Internet. That's why I'm Chief Technology Officer.
But all you did was plug it in. You didn't do anything.
Neither did you.
Exactly.
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 He'll fight. Very shortened version of that, since people are like, are you going to play? Okay, we'll do a little bit here. Was massively popular, far more popular than the guitar through about 1962. And then rock and roll came in and the accordion went flying down. And it's still kind of down there. But every country has a different history. I could do a whole TED talk on that. It's quite interesting on that. But yes, the very shortened version of that, since people are like, are you going to play? Okay, we'll do a little bit here. This is what, of course, you're more used to, you know. You know, this is what we're used to for accordion. So you all know that one. Okay, very good. But it's a good audience. But of course, I am more known to do stuff. You can do stuff like that. You can also do something like. You can be your own little jazz. Manhattan transfer. You can also not have to hire DJs anymore. You can and I do play with DJs once in a while. People don't expect that. What's an accordion doing on stage? They don't know I'm actually playing already. It can get crazier. You can even do stuff like. There's a leak in here, something?
Okay, so I don't. Yeah.
All with Democratic presidents. But I feel like I've never really moved on many of my issues. It's just the left has gone so far left.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
Completely.
But there's no. There's no substance or anything to back that up.
But
he doesn't speak
for
for
being
all of us.
honest.
No. But the thing is, and Laura, you bring up a great point about you can slice the pie so many ways of what to call each other. You know,
there's nothing to back that up. Oops.
Question?
Yeah.
Okay, so we have seen 8 years of lawfare, and it's been very clear.
No. Once again, making up stupid, childish terms. Oh, lawfare. Oh, the jab. Oh, you've got TDS.
Lawfare. General Flynn, I was with him last night. His family was destroyed over a lie.
He was later charged with lying to the FBI about his discussions with Russian officials on behalf of Trump, despite pleading guilty twice. He was pardoned by Trump in the final weeks of his presidency. Yeah, he pled. God, she can't speak without lying.
For a lie. Russiagate was a lie. Spygate
No, it
was
wasn't.
a lie. I truly believe.
She said, "Can I ask a question? Is there a question in here?"
You know, murderers get 25 to life in prison. This lawfare, do you know how many years Trump's facing? 700 years.
What? Is there a question in here?
In prison. Do you really think that he deserves that?
No.
And I truly
Okay,
think that if
finally
we
hit a
allow
question.
lawfare I believe that if we allow lawfare to travel as far and get
He
away
just
with
wants
what
to
they've
keep
done, we
saying-
don't have a country anymore.
No, the precedents that could be set if
Oh,
he's
it's
convicted on these things.
disgusting.
It's like you can hate him. It's fine to hate him for this, that, and the other reason, but to allow the precedent, even the insurrection situation, where it's like, did he
friends.
push it? Did he push
No.
it to happen? Kind of, but did he say go to the
Hold on.
Capitol and
Hold
blast
on.
with a
Can I
no?
jump, can I jump in there for a second? Okay, just to address the prompt real quick. If being a Republican is sucking up to Trump, then I am not a Republican.
I think being a Republican just means not literally voting Democrat.
No, that's not what being a Republican means. People are split ticket and are still a member of a party. I can be a Republican and vote for a Democrat that I think does a better job. It's not that complicated. People used to have like sense and be in the middle. Like Bob Dole.
You would be so
there's a
successful
quote.
in the
Hold on,
Democrat
sorry.
Party.
Bob Dole.
Once
just,
again,
there was a quote from Bob
once
Dole. where he-
again, just look at all of this. Look at everything in the Jubilee debased themselves by bringing Mr. Magoo on. Trying to bully the kid, and then look, and I'm glad he's not taking the bait. I'm glad he's ignoring it, and look how hard Mr. Magoo is trying. Because the camera's this way.
said, you know, my
Look,
enemy.
look, leans over. Look at this. Leans over to get on camera. Leans over to get the rest of the way on camera because Mr. Magoo knows the camera's in this direction. Remember how Trump kept lurching around behind Hillary? That's what you're seeing.
He's not my enemy, he's my opponent. And that's where I feel like we've strayed from the Republican Party. That's what Donald Trump brought in 2016, was this mentality of, oh, we have to hate them because we don't agree with them. We have to hate them. They can't take office. They can't be anywhere near anything.
Are you
And
quoting
that's-
him?
What?
He said he said we have to hate them. Are you quoting Donald J.
That's
Trump?
he talks about Democrats as the enemy all the time.
But Look at his
he said fuck Joe Biden on his Truth Social.
Do
Like, he
Democrats
said,
talk
fuck
about
Joe Biden on his Truth
Republicans
Social.
as the enemy?
Is that hate?
Young man, do Democrats talk about Republicans as the
I've been a
enemy of America?
Republican a lot longer than 2016,
Absolutely.
and I've
I
definitely
think
been
it's- I
hated
think it's
longer by Donald.
But
than
I think
Donald
that
Trump.
Look, he's going to try to throw at them. And fuck this cocksucker right here, young man. They're bullying him and talking down to them, and fuck him for letting it happen, and fuck all of Jubilee for letting them bully this kid. Isn't this great? Isn't this great? I'm one of the most leftists in the fucking world. I'm the only one defending this Republican kid and his Republican stance. Just like Republicans claim to be the religious ones, but it's leftists defending Jesus these days.
Donald Trump has exacerbated the situation, so much so to the point where he thought that it was like so much of a tragedy of Republicans losing the 2020 election that he thought there's no way it could happen. There's no way, because Democrats are so bad that the only way that we lose is if it's rigged. So what he did is he built up the tension 7 months in advance. He was telling his supporters that the election was only going to be rigged if he lost. 7 months
he's doing
in
it again
April.
now.
In April of 2020, 7 months in advance. Rigged if he lost.
Who said that?
7
And
months
he's
in
doing it again
April.
now.
In April of 2020, election was only going to be rigged if he lost. 7 months
he's
in
doing it again
April,
now.
in April of 2020, 7 months
Yeah,
in
the
advance, he
monitor.
said it is rigged if I lose. And then
Well, it
in
was rigged.
August, he said it again.
Let's-
It's not a rigged
Hillary
election.
also made it.
And
Let's
then,
dig into.
can I just?
Yeah, we're gonna dig into the election in a second.
Okay,
Can
I'll
I add a
just fin-
20 No, you finish.
HoneyBook keeps your proposals, contracts, invoices, and payments all in one place. My name is Laura Gomez, and I
Okay, I was just gonna say, sorry. So like, and then when he calls his supporters up on January 6th, you can say whatever you want about what he told them to do at the Capitol, but if you call your supporters up on January 6th, have a massive rally with millions of people, tell them to march down to the Capitol,
Peacefully
it doesn't
patriotic.
matter what he
It
said.
does.
He set up Mike Pence as a traitor if he didn't accept those electoral
You
votes.
said we're going to
So-
cover the insurrection.
Okay.
I have the luck of being a political strategist. So I've actually seen the data set of anti-Trump Republicans who are hard Republicans who usually do vote Republican in elections. I think the reason why that is because psychological manipulation is very powerful. And I think that if you're weak enough, you're susceptible to it. And I don't want to get personal here, but we have people on stage, 3 young men who look like they haven't lifted a weight in their life, and we have a
What does
woman.
that have to do with my
And
political?
we have a woman.
I want to hear what he says about
I have a heart
Hold
condition.
on,
that makes me not
Let me
lift
finish.
weights.
And we have a woman displaying the Jezebel spirit here despite
The
her age.
Jezebel
Despite her age.
spirit.
And the point I'm making is behind every
Cleavage,
never
even
Trump.
Melania.